Very, very good afternoon, all of you. I can feel the your affection. Uh, I can feel that all. Okay, shall we start off? Are you all
Ma'am.
ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We are ready.
Hmm. Ready. Now with your book and notes and then pen and all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, now I will turn my
Which book, ma'am? Paper one, paper
which
two.
book? Which one do you want?
I'm
Tell me.
ma'am.
Which one do you want?
I'm
Anything,
I'm
ready.
just
ma'am.
Paper
joking.
five.
Anything is fine, ma'am.
Paper 5. I'm teaching you paper 5. Okay?
Thank you so much, ma'am.
No problem. Now you all switch your cameras off, switch your mics off, and I'm also switching my camera off. Right. Yesterday, we began our journey on understanding British literature of the 20th century. And then 1.5 hours we spent together trying to understand the background and then the factors that led to many changes in terms of political, social, cultural, historical, all the changes that came by in the 20th century were not very optimistic. They were not giving any kind of hope to people because that was the time when the entire world had been subjected to lot of violence through two huge wars called the World War One and the World War Two. By then, we also have understood that people started drifting away from the roots of religion and trying to be individualistic in their approach to life. All these factors have definitely had their impact on the society's moral fabric, spiritual character. All these were undergoing major tectonic shifts. So what was the kind of atmosphere then during the 1920s? The atmosphere was palpable with hopelessness, disappointment, depression. Everything around was reflecting very dark, very shady, very grave strains. So, this is what we have understood yesterday. And this kind of mood, tone, environment, these were all reflected in the writings of many philosophers, thinkers, poets, social critics. They were all upset with the world, with the way of the world. How to register their unhappiness, how to protest, how to resist this kind of an environment which was being enforced upon them only through literature. So, today we are going to start off a very important text called The Wasteland which is there in your poetry section. Don't look into the text, just listen and take down the notes. The Wasteland was written by T.S. Eliot. Why did he give the title The Wasteland? The title itself is suggestive of the human spirit, the human heart that had gone dry. Reshma, please turn off the mic, please. The human spirit and the human hearts, they went absolutely dry. Dry because the soil has become so, uh, 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 you know, uh, incompatible for the growth of spirituality, for the growth of morality. Say, for example, if my heart is not well nourished by my faith, by my spirituality, then I would rather not go according to the directions given by the Almighty, but the directions that I would like to choose. Because I am not sure that there is nobody supervising over me and there is no God. So, what is happening in the 1920s? Spiritually, people have become dry. Their hearts have become wastelands. Their hearts have become wastelands. So, what is a wasteland? Barren land, a place where no vegetation can ever grow. No vegetation can ever receive nourishment. So the soil becomes dry, and then there is no scope for any kind of organic growth. That is the wasteland. Human hearts have become waste. They have become wastelands. They have become infertile grounds. Why? Because only when our hearts are watered and nourished and supplanted by the strength that we receive from being morally upright and by spiritually enlightened, our hearts will be organic and they will give way for the growth of spirituality. Good ideas, morally upright ideas. But when there is no idea above me, I am just myself. There is no concept of the God. I am the supreme. Look at me. I am so advanced. I am so evolved. And the machinery that I am using is so advanced and sophisticated, and they are all the products of my intelligence. So if man starts thinking that his intelligence is beyond God, okay? If man thinks that he is the Superman, if man thinks that there is no other power that supervises him, then the entire world goes waste. The entire world becomes a wasteland. There would be no place for peace. There would be no place for charity. There would be no place for compassion. Only when our hearts are nourished, well nourished, by the way of morality and spirituality, there is space for peace, happiness, and hope. This is the main idea behind the text, The Wasteland. This text is considered as the first text of the modern literature, which has opened up the doors to modern literature, modern age. The First World War, the kind of sophisticated equipment, the machinery, the automated weapons, all have opened up the doors of modern age. And when the doors of the modern age have been drawn open, man's hearts have gone into pieces of wastelands. Both have happened parallelly. Man's heart's going waste, man's heart's going dry, started with the onset of modern age. Man was feeling very superior because he was into many inventions, he was into many discoveries, he was using a lot of machinery. Until then, killing a person was just face to face. But now, he can dictate the destiny of thousands of people by just pressing the button of a bomb. He just can press the button, remotely controlled, sitting in one country and wiping out the human race of a different enemy country. So that kind of power, which he started enjoying, has made him blind to the spiritual senses. Once when God, the place of God has been removed from the heart of human, the human being behaves in a very erratic manner, like that of the World War I and World War II. This is the background behind the writing of The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot, a very complex poem which is divided into different sections. And finally, what T.S. Eliot wants to propose to the world. What does he want to tell the world? What is his philosophy? What is he trying to tell through this poem, The Wasteland? So now we have already understood that wasteland is the dry heart, the waste heart of the human being during the first half of the 20th century, because man had become very egoistic, started feeling very powerful, and even questioned the God. So spiritual death had happened. Spiritual death had happened beginning with the first half of 20th century. That spiritual death did not really show its intensity in the other centuries. 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and first half of 19th century, people at least were afraid of the God's existence. But with many advancements in science and technology and inventions and discoveries and voyages and adventures, all these had made me think that I am the supreme power. So there is spiritual death, burial of spirit. But once when anything is buried, our many cultures, okay, in many cultures, primitive cultures across the globe, they believe in rebirth, okay? They believe in afterlife. Many myths, fertility rites. They believe in the death and birth, rebirth, death, birth. This is a cycle. Somebody dies and is buried, and again he takes birth, and he dies and he takes birth. So this is a cycle of life and death, life and death. So death doesn't mean all has come to a standstill. Death also instills a little hope that there is rebirth. Many cultures, especially the old ancient cultures, believe in this fertility rites. For example, at the time of plantations, at the time of agricultural practices, some cultures believe in the burial of the some kinds of ritualistic processes. At the time of agricultural practices, they follow some ritualistic processes of burying some their own kinds of objects or spiritually related things in the soil. Then they perform some rituals, and next day they come back and they dig it open. So this is a symbolic gesture. They dig it open and bring it out as if it is reborn. Okay. So a thing or an object, a root or a shoot or a flower or a plant, something they take, and then they dig up one grave-like thing. They put the object inside. They bury that, cover it up with mud and soil, and then they consider it as dead, burial of the dead. Then next day they come and they open up the grave and bring out the flower or whatever object they have laid inside the previous day, and then again keep that in worship it and observe some ritualistic practices. So it means that whatever is dead is born again. So when there is death, there is hope. This is the fertility rites many cultures practice at the time of agriculture. Before they start agriculture, they follow these kind of practices. So now, why T.S. Eliot is referring to these fertility rites of the birth and the death, the burial of the dead and the rebirth, which equates to death, which gives rise to hope. Death is not bringing all the things to an end, but death is directing you towards rebirth. This is highly significant, highly symbolic, because he has started his title with wasteland, and we understood that the heart of the human is dead spiritually. So please don't lose hope. He is trying to be optimistic through the dark days, that maybe tomorrow there will be resurrection, there will be a revival, and then the spirit of the human beings will again come back to life, which he equates with the symbolic burial of the dead during the fertility rites practiced by ancient cultures. So he is only trying to take the symbolic significance behind it, that is rebirth, hope. Rebirth is equal to hope. Anything that dies is born again, is hope. Spirit is dead today during the World War I. Tomorrow, the spirit may come back to life. People will start believing in humanity. People will start believing in God. People will start believing in the human emotions like love, like compassion. Because today, during the World War I, you can see only dead bodies. You can see only the pain. You can see only the trauma. There is no place, there is no space for human emotions like love. There is only enmity. There is only hatred. There is only hostility. There is no space for compassion, no space for charity, no space for empathy. There is no space for love. Tomorrow, maybe all these now are dead. Tomorrow they will be born again. That is the point of optimism that he is trying to discuss through his poem. Now, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
it difficult?
Yes, ma'am.
Is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
difficult?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
It
Okay,
is
good.
very easy to understand.
Actually, this is a very complex text. Okay? So now you have understood the background to it. It will be very easy now, I hope, that the sections will become easier for you. For example, another myth that he refers to is Fisher King. Like if a king of a land, if he gets sick, the entire kingdom symbolically becomes waste. There would be no rains. There would be no prosperity. There would be no, crops. Everything is heading towards death. Drought-like conditions. Cattle is dying. People are thirsty. This is the kind of scenario which can be paralleled to the king of any kingdom who is sick and is dying. So once when healing medicine is given to the king, and the king takes the medicine and he starts recovering, he is on a road to recovery, and then he takes his time to get back to normal life. And once he is revived, once he gets his health back, his kingdom also becomes healthy. Then there would be rain. Then there would be greenery. Then there would be crops, plentiful, bountiful. People are also happy, healthy. So the health of the kingdom relies on the health of the king. So if the king is unhealthy, the kingdom is unhealthy. Okay? So when the king is revived, the kingdom also is revived. So there is, it's like now today during the World War I, it's like the whole country is heading towards death. Okay, the king here is not any particular king, but the spirit. Okay, the spirit is dying, so the kingdom is dying. So let us heal it, so that the kingdom comes back to life. So these are the mythical equations, symbolic suggestions that the poet is alluding to the poem, The Wasteland. So there are many such references that he brings from the Bible, from the Bhagavad Gita, from different sources, from different books, from the Vedas. He also borrows something from some philosophy from Indian culture. All this he is borrowing from different cultures only to bring in hope back to all of us. Okay, now if we start off the poem, the first section itself is symbolically called the burial of the dead. Okay, burial of the dead. So what is the death you now know? You understood that what it means to die. It is not the physical death, but it is the spiritual death. It is to be buried. Only if it is buried, tomorrow it will be revived. That is why he gave the title of that first section as the burial of the dead. And he begins his poem with that first line, April is the cruelest month. He says April is the cruelest month, but many writers, they like the month April very much because it is the season that brings in flowers. Then spring season dawns in. Many people are so happy on seeing the bright sun. But why is it that our T.S. Eliot is unhappy with the month April? Maybe he is relating it with the death of the crucifixion of the Christ, okay, Jesus. His crucifixion has taken place in the month of April. Generally, it falls in the month of April, Good Friday, and then the Easter. So the crucifixion is the death, and he is buried. Jesus Christ is buried, and on the third day he came back to life. There is very, very important point that we need to understand here. In the earlier versions also, we have been exposed to the fertility rites that are practiced across the globe in the ancient cultures, and the story of the fisher king who is on the deathbed, and so his country is also dying. And the third is the symbolic suggestion which is made through the death of Jesus and his burial and his resurrection. When see the entire sin, see the symbolic meaning behind the death of Jesus is that he has to die on the cross because he is carrying the sin. He has to die on the cross, and the death is symbolic death. And the cross becomes the symbol of sacrifice and resurrection and rebirth and hope and life. The cross becomes the symbolic reference to rebirth, hope, sacrifice, resurrection, revival. Only after he has been crossed, nailed to the cross, and then he was buried, the third day, on the day of Easter, he resurrected back to life. He came back to life. So that's the hope. That's the hope Eliot is trying to draw from. He is taking inspiration from the death and resurrection of Jesus the Christ. Today, in 1920, there is spiritual death. But tomorrow it may be resurrected. Christ has been resurrected. The way Fisher King has been resurrected. The way fertility rites, through fertility rites, the objects are resurrected. So he is only trying to be hopeful of the future. So the burial of the dead. Srinidhi Ketavat Vardhan, please close. I request, please, all of you to keep the mics off because the flow gets disrupted, okay? and somebody is asking for page number, దయచేసి please do not ask me for the page number. Don't ask me for the page number. I don't have the book with me. Okay? I don't have the book with me. I am just closing my eyes and talking with you. And why are you very concerned about the page numbers? What lesson? Wasteland, wasteland, wasteland. Constantly I have been referring to this topic, wasteland. I told you it is there in poetry. Why are you worried about the page number like LKG people and first class students? Please, please. Yesterday itself I told you, please do not ask for page number. That is not how I teach you. Please try to follow my style of teaching. If I give you page numbers, it is like teaching an LKG student. Don't go by that, please. I am not upset. Don't think that I am upset, but it takes time for you to also get into the mold of my teaching. Okay? I'm sorry if I have hurt you people, but don't go by the page. I asked you, that is why don't keep your textbook with you. Just keep your notebook and pen with you. Is that okay, my dear students?
Okay, ma'am.
Surekha? Yeah, Lingaya. Next. Vaishali.
Yes, ma'am.
Vaishali.
Yes, ma'am.
No, Vaishali. Vaishali is asking for page number. Kalpana is asking for page number. Okay, Huda. Please. Okay. That is only driving away my concentration, my dears. Please. So how can I tell you which page number is this when it is all not being read out from the pages? Okay, I'm not reading out from the pages, that from the material. Okay, it's coming out from. Yeah, please tell me.
Ma'am, again you can tell the cross symbolic. Again you can tell me.
అరే నేనేం మాట్లాడుతున్నాను, మీరేం అడుగుతున్నారు? Okay, Maheshwari. Vaishali, okay, I understand your problem. Vaishali, it's okay. Okay, now, Maheshwari, what is the symbol of the cross? Tell me. How can anybody tell? Can anybody now tell me what is the
Rebirth.
Maheshwari, please, listen. Okay. Can anybody open the mic and tell me what is the symbol of the cross?
It's a symbol of rebirth or reference or giving hope, ma'am.
Resurrection, not reference. Resurrection.
Yes, sorry.
Rebirth. Okay?
Okay.
Rebirth, resurrection, revival, coming
Hope.
back to life,
Yeah, hope.
and life. Okay? So do you now understand why he is talking about the burial of the dead? Because even if there is burial, there is dash.
Hope.
Lingaya, excellent answer. Very good, Lingaya. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
Next question. So what is now dead? Tell me, what is dead?
The rebirth, ma'am.
What is dead?
Morality.
Yes. Batula, very good. Surekha, very good. Spirituality is dead, morality is dead. Why?
Virtues of human beings.
Virtues of human beings, right. Okay, why did they die?
Because of the inventions of and development in the science and technology and usage of arms and weapons in the First World War and the Second World War.
Okay, what did that actually, did it affect the human beings' psychology?
Yes, ma'am. They felt that there is no God. After their inventions, they can do anything. They are supreme. They have some supreme power. They can dictate the whole world by inventions and new discoveries.
Wonderful.
And development of science and technology.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
They lose faith in God.
Batula. What is your name? Full name?
Pani Kumari.
Fani Kumari. Okay. Now, everyone, please switch on your mics and clap for Fani Kumari. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is exactly what I am intending to teach you. Okay? If you listen to the lecture clearly, you will understand why it has been written. Meena, please switch off your mic now. Saleha Begum, Alivelu, everybody. Okay? Now, good. All of you, good. You are all listening to me well. Now we will get down to the burial of the dead. That is the first section. So I am not really reading out. I am not reading out the lines because it is not necessary to read out the lines. It is necessary to understand the subject. You are on the way of understanding the subject. You don't have to go by the line stuff. What is this line? What does that line say? Forget about all that. If you understand the main essence, the main subject, it is enough. Okay, that is how your approach should be. Okay, now let's go to the first section, burial of the dead, and we have already understood what the meaning of the burial of the dead is. Here it is so important. See, there are so many images. Okay, images means the pictures. Pictures in the poems. Don't ever think that he has used photographs there. No, he has, through his words, okay, through the usage of words, he is triggering the imagination of the readers. For example, he says that you look around. When you look around, what do you see? Do you see beautiful green canopies, or do you see that life is throbbing around you? No. What do you see instead? If you look around, you only see broken images, bits and pieces. Okay, for example, now you have to understand this point. He said first, the heart of the man has become waste because there is no spiritual growth. Number two, London is wasteland. Okay, London, he is focusing on London now. London is a wasteland because that was the time when World War I was fought, and wherever you saw, wherever you went, whatever you saw only the buildings that were bombed, the tankers moving around the streets, and then the people's bodies in, dismembered bodies, cut bodies, the heads were cut. Oh, very, very grotesque images. So whatever you see, heaps and heaps and heaps of broken images. This is a very significant point. Nothing is a whole unit. Okay, nothing is a whole unit. Everything is broken. The spirit is broken. The heart is broken. Man is broken. Morality is broken. Buildings are broken. Everything is broken. And as he sees there, people at the office time are all walking in big, huge numbers. Everyone is walking and trying to cross the London Bridge. Okay, they are trying to cross the London Bridge. How are they all? How are they all?
Broken.
No, but they are all broken in spirit. They are broken in body. Their faces don't reflect any excitement. There is no hope on their faces. There is no smile on their faces. There is no happiness in them. Everybody's faces are so long, drawn, crestfallen, dark, shady, as if they are going to, walking through the doors of the hell. Is this the kind of life we are all supposed to lead? No. We see, sometime if you today in 2020, that is 100 years later, the picture is no different. If you see people waiting at the crossing the roads at Panjagutta Center or the major centers, no, Panjagutta, Amirpet, how are they all? They seem to be in a great busy. Okay, as if they are running, they are walking very fast, unmindful of the surroundings. Nobody observes anybody, nobody smiles at anybody. Everybody seems to be in his or her own world of thought or thoughtlessness. No, you are not finding anybody very happy, chirpy, cheerful, and all that. Even 100 years later, the situation has gone worse, I hope. I think at least tomorrow, 10 years later, do you expect any better kind of an image? 10 years later, do we expect people to be all smiling, walking, full of enthusiasm? Everybody is so tensed. Everybody is under stress. A young child is under stress. An old man is under stress. Of all the ages, they have their own doses of stress. Okay, so when he sees the hundreds of people crossing the London Bridge to go to their respective offices in the morning at 9 o'clock, everybody is so as if they are going to walk through the doors of the hell. Like, how many, I don't know, but see, if you take my case, when I am getting ready to go to college to teach, I am so excited. I am so happy. Seriously, I'm telling you, because I have great passion for teaching. That's my only life. Other than teaching, I can do nothing. I'm not a good cook. I'm not a good this, that. I'm not good at any time, at any point. But teaching is something that gives me so much of happiness. So what I'm doing is, when I'm going to the college, I'm going with great anticipation, happiness, excitement. But how many of them are as lucky as I am? I am lucky because I am doing what I love. My profession is something which I love so much. That's why I'm happy to go to my workplace. But do you think out of 100 people, only one you can come across like me, the other 99 are unhappy? Do you agree?
Yes, we do, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
yes. I think
Yes, ma'am.
this trend began 100 years ago. Somebody please switch off the mic. Okay, so many people crossing the London Bridge. Looks like people are walking through the doors of the hell. They are all isolated. They are all alienated. As if their eyes are all downcast. They they are walking through the streets of London, and the clock is striking 9 o'clock with a heavy sound. At that point, they 9 o'clock, it is time for us to be in their offices by now. The stress is doubled. Okay, so why are they all so dull, alienated? Because there is no enthusiasm for life. They are all reeling under something called boredom, monotony, mundane activities, routine things. Some of them joined as typists. For 30 years, they went on typing. Every day going to the office, type. Go back home, Next day come, type. For 30 years, they have been doing the same thing without any excitement. What can you expect from their lives? Okay, so that is what he is referring to. Like, people have lost enthusiasm. There is no cheer in there is no happiness, and then there is boredom. Then there is spiritual death. These people are all spiritually dead people. These people are all unenthusiastic people. These people are all unhappy people. These people are all reeling under severe stress. They are all dead people. They are all dead people because they are almost appearing like walking towards the gates of the hell. They are all dead people. Morally, spiritually, in spirit, in enthusiasm, they are dead. This death should be now buried, and then again wait for the what? Wait for what?
Rebirth.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So, did you understand the first section, burial of the dead?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, don't go by the lines. Don't go by the number of the book pages and all. We are now going to game of chess. Understood? The second section is game of chess. Any other questions from the first section?
It is so clear we can have no questions at all, ma'am.
Okay.
No questions.
Very wonderful, wonderful.
No
Now, so
questions.
nice of you.
Clear, ma'am.
Your teaching is very nice, ma'am.
Who is this?
I am Sureka.
Is this your first class, Surekha?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just taking a break of 2 minutes in between so that, for the past 1 hour I have been talking. My vocal cords are undergoing little strain. I had taken other class also. So I'll just shut my mouth for 2 minutes, and I will start talking at 3:30. Now it is 28. Sorry, 4:28.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll start at 30.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's start off.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Please.
Ma'am, my doubt is that why did T.S. Eliot introduce Madame Sosstress in the poem? Why was the mention of her name in the poem?
Madam Sosstress, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will. I will talk about Madam Sosstress is a fortune teller. Okay, Madam Sosstress is a famous fortune teller. She is supposed to be wisest woman in Europe. Okay, what is her reference here is she actually brings out cards for the people. This is your card. This is your card. She tells people, okay, this is about the sailor. If you get a card, like the Chilaka cards, Chilaka Joshyam. So the cards have pictures of Lord Krishna and Lord Rama and other kinds of pictures, if you know, isn't it?
Ma'am, like tarot cards? Like tarot cards?
Tarot cards, right?
Tarot cards, ma'am. Like tarot cards.
Yeah, she is that kind of a fortune teller. She's supposed to be very wise in Europe, and her tarot cards are all very evil. Okay, what is she doing is she's trying to foresee the future, but a very dark future. What does she see through her tarot cards is she foresees very dark future for everyone. because those are the days when everything is very dark and gloomy and lifeless. So when she is reading out, picking up the cards, she is only predicting bad future for everyone. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will go to game of chess. The game of chess, it has no, there is a lady sitting, she is being described in the game of chess. She is being described as if she is sitting on a high throne, and then the marble floor is so beautiful, and then the curtains are very well decorated, the pillars are decorated with golden statues, and then there is this chandelier, and the candle lights are shining so bright like the jewels, and the perfumes, the scent of the perfumes, everything about that room where this lady, who is this lady, we don't know, is sitting, is all about riches, about luxury, and about the fake smells of perfume. Okay, and so it only talks about the kind of artificial world we are all trying to live in, to cover ourselves in artificial perfumes, and then not let in the no natural air, how we are trying to lead a very closed kind of a life. This is the that strain he is trying to introduce to us. Then there is there is a small picture crafted. Okay, it is crafted in the pillar on the roof. That of a bird. The picture of a bird is crafted. It is engraved on the pillar, and it is so beautiful. That picture is of the bird. Why is the focus on the bird there in that room? Is to speak about the bird's past life. It seems this bird was once upon a time a beautiful lady. This bird, which we are referring to, sitting on the pillar, once upon a time was a beautiful lady. She had a sister, and sister was married, and sister's husband was not happy just with his wife, but he wanted to also extend his love to the sister of his wife. But this little girl, little sister, she denies and she says no to his advances. But that fellow wants to fulfill his bodily pleasures, physical pleasures through her, and he forces himself upon her, and it means he molests her, he violates her modesty. It means in a very unsophisticated way, he rapes her. But that fellow again is so cruel that he couldn't stop himself by exploiting her. He didn't want his wife to know about his misdeed. So he cuts the tongue of this girl, little girl, so that she wouldn't ever utter this fact to his wife. Very cruel episode. And we come across many such episodes in our real lifetime now. And when this girl's tongue has been cut off, the wife of that fellow comes to know about this misdeed of her husband, what she does is she goes to her sister and she chants some abracadabra kind, and both of them become birds, free birds. Okay, and then they fly off only to sing beautifully to enjoy maximum freedom. So that's the story behind this little bird's picture engraved on the pillar of a drawing room, in somebody's drawing room. What does that story convey? It talks about the ruthless act of the man to show and establish his macho or masculinity, and that women are only objects of desire, and that they can be taken for granted, and that once his desire is fulfilled, she no longer, exists for him. It's just for once, when the act is done, it's now fine. I am okay with it. Now she doesn't deserve to live. How many cases have we seen? Such kind of cases: raping and killing, raping and maiming, raping and throwing. So that's still continuing. Even after 100 years, that's still continuing. Why? Because of the death in the virtues. Okay, no morality, no spirituality. The fabric of the society has become so weak that even a young boy like 8 to 9 years old is now open to pornography on his smartphones. So they are becoming very curious. So that's the age when we didn't even know whether we were boys or girls. We didn't even know the difference. That's the kind of innocence we were all growing with. Especially my age group. I was born in 1972. That means I'm 48 now. So my age group people, we were the most fortunate, because we grew up in such innocent environment. Didn't even know about the forbidden words called sex and all that until we became 15 or 16. But today it's not like that. So we are heading towards worse situations. And because they are able to understand things by watching them on their phones, they want to experiment. Like, a 9-year-old a 9-year-old boy raping a 3-year-old girl. Have we ever heard of this? But things are happening that way because of spiritual death, because of morality that's dead. When will it come back to life? I am not sure. T.S. Eliot was hoping that one day spirituality will come back to life. But when is that going to happen? We'll have to see. And then after this episode of the bird, and then the story behind the bird and the message that the story conveys, there is a discussion between, two partners. Are they a husband and wife? Are they living in a relationship? We seriously don't know. But it looks as if there is nothing that they are sharing. Okay? Like what next? Nothing. Okay, what next? Nothing. This is the kind of conversation that happens between the two partners. Talk with me. Talk to me. My anxiety is so bad tonight. Tell me something. Why don't you talk? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking? What? I never know what you are thinking or what's going in your head. These are the words that many partners share, isn't it? These
Yes.
are the phrases. I want to talk. Why don't you talk? Why don't you ever talk? Say something. What are you thinking? Are you thinking? What? Tell me. What's going in your head? I never know what's going in your head. These are the common phrases. With this, the time will pass happily between the partners. I'm being very cautious here whether to say husband or wife. It can be between a girl and a boy. It can be between a man and a woman. It can be between a man and a man, a girl and a girl, anybody. Because nobody is willing to open up. Nobody is willing to say what they feel about, what they think about. Are they really thinking? That is also is a question. So the whole world is like, who is actually making a lot of money these days is the psychiatrists. You go to any psychiatrist center, you will find hundreds of people sitting there. Oh, you have now a question. Are there so many depressed people around me? We have this question. So if if you're going to a fever hospital, people are there suffering from fever, it is a very common sight. But if you go to a psychiatrist center, you see people suffering from so many mental diseases, so many
Yes,
mental
yes.
illnesses. All are lifestyle diseases. All are, man-made, created by our own selves. Stress, anxiety, tension. There are people who have no problems yet they have a problem. What is that problem? Anxiety problem. Okay, if you get a job, you are anxious. How to perform? You don't get a job, you are anxious. How? What will I do? I don't have a job. I have a job, I have a problem. I don't have a job, I have a problem. I have good parents, I have a problem. I have bad parents, I have a problem. I have a good partner, I have a problem. I don't have a partner, I have a problem. Everything is a problem. We are actually surrounded by problems and and different, ways, that dimensions of anxiety. So that example of my anxiety is bad, talk to me, why don't you talk, is the reflection of what is going between people these days. Okay, then it looks as if these two people are going to play chess, and as who are these people, we don't know. Why are they talking, we don't know. There is a little bit of ambiguity and uncertainty, and why did Eliot do that? He did that because, see, in modern life everything is in bits and pieces. You cannot have a proper organically structured text. I can say I'm writing a poem, and on that sheet of paper I'll put dot 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 comma dot full stop dot question mark question mark exclamation, and then I will give it to you. You will look at that paper. Ma'am, what is this? This I'll say it's my poem. Ma'am, there are no words, only symbols. What are the symbols? Punctuation marks. Okay, what do they suggest? You say dot question exclamation. What is this, ma'am? I don't understand anything. Then I will tell you, that's because I don't understand anything about myself. I don't understand anything about myself. That is why I put forth my ideas like that, all broken. If my life is fully, full-fledged, and then happily going at a very beautiful pace, I will sit happily and write a wonderful poem. Birds are chirping, monkeys are climbing, flowers are blooming, this color is so beautiful and my emotions are so this that I can write when I am happy. But I'm surrounded by uncertainty. I'm drowning in complexities. All about me, all around me is in bits and fragments. You can't expect me to write such a wonderful poem. So, modern literature, you cannot expect it to really have one proper beginning, proper middle, proper conclusion. You can't expect that to have such an organic way of pattern or structure, because life itself is not structured properly. Life is not organized properly. You can't expect literature to be organized properly. The language spoken now is like, if you listen to anybody talking, it is so these days it has become so difficult to listen to anybody talking nicely in genuine language, nice, sophisticated, beautiful sentences. Our children, how are they talking these days? No, yeah, yes, Swiggy, Zomato, pizza, Domino's, dinner, TV. Except these bits, are they talking to you in full terms? Am I exaggerating things?
No, ma'am.
No.
I don't know how many of you can relate to this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the language itself the sentences are itself broken in postmodern period like this. You cannot expect, good morning, mummy. I love you, mummy. Will you please make chapati for me, mummy? And for that, will you make kaima? Or such wonderful, beautiful words. Oh, how I long to listen to such kind of beautiful sentences. All are in bits and pieces. Is lunch ready? You don't even expect, is lunch ready? More words. 3 words. Lunch. What about it? That's how they talk. Okay. So, language is all broken. Everything is broken. Right? Right. Now, shall we stop here? Is it time?
Yes, ma'am. It's 5 o'clock, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
10 to 5
Okay.
minutes.
Tomorrow morning, if possible, I think tomorrow morning, if possible. Actually, my class is at 3:30. But I want to advance my class to 9:30. I have some work in afternoon. And if your assessor is willing to exchange, then I will take the class at 9:30. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have really enjoyed your class.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall I take your leave for now?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hmm. Now, Divya is asking limit for the joining people 100 only. Yesterday, when you told